who couldn't make regular times. It's going to be a very hard time for us in the future, but we will do it. But I want people to know it's going to be very hard.
Let me ask you, is this being proposed, or this is the final budget? Because I know that the state is still, working on their budget. I was talking to my son.
The problem is, this is our budget, and we have to go with this for now because we can't keep waiting for everybody to work out their budgets. The state's been working on the budget for some time. They haven't gotten a final budget yet, but we can't wait around for them to have that. So we have to make our own proposals, and that's what this is. That we definitely will have to close those facilities that I spoke about. And we will have to definitely look to the fact that we might be closing others.
Right. Well, I think healthcare is very, very important, and I think that the last thing we need is health facilities closing down. And it's probably going to be, they're probably proposing them to be closed in the areas that need them most. That's the sad part about it.
St. Vincent's is already closed except for a little small outpatient department. That was a hospital. It was over 100.
St. Vincent Hospital.
Yes.
Yeah.
In Lower Manhattan, and that was over 120 years old, and that whole community just lived on just that. That was their biggest hospital, and now all they've got is an outpatient. Even their emergencies are now being shifted to other hospitals, and we're taking up a lot of slacks, and all the other private hospitals in the area, which are still viable, are taking up some of the slack. But it's hard all over the city of New York.
Right.
Well, the same thing happened in our area of Brooklyn, the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn, with St. Mary's closing.
Yes.
But we were blessed to have a community family life center that provides health care and doctors for the neighborhood because of that. And also the Charles Drew Center in the Kingsborough projects was also closed. And at this point, we're still in negotiations of trying to get that property to open our center there. And
this is the Berean Church's center you're talking
right,
about.
yes.
Berean
Church,
Center.
Yeah. I understand that's the only one in the state. Yeah, that's connected with the church.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, church. I think that's a marvelous idea.
It really is a marvelous
idea. It's doing
idea.
a fantastic job. Unfortunately, we're running out of space, and it's still in negotiations with the city to try to even use the spaces that's not being used that they closed down in the project area. So.
Yeah. Let me, go ahead, Mary.
And they have a very good health awareness program, preventative program that teach you the proper way of eating and maintaining certain weight issues, because those issues cause great health problems. And I think we really need to focus on prevention. I mean, once I learned the proper way of eating, blood pressure came down, cholesterol came down, and we have to educate people about the importance of it. Just because my dad had high blood pressure doesn't mean I have to have it, no. Because I can prevent myself from having it by eating properly, exercising, and just being aware of what's going in my body.
Right,
and one of the most important things about prevention is hand washing. And that is I have gone to more health fairs and community meetings and whatever to demonstrate how to wash your hands properly, how to use hand sanitizers when you're outside, how to use soap and water while you're inside, because to get rid of all those germs on your hands before you put your hand to your mouth is saving lives. Because you don't, you walk down the street, you hold on to a wall, you go down the subway, you hold on to the banister. All those things have dirt, germs, and then you reach for a hot dog or a pretzel and you eat it while you're in the street because nobody thinks about it. They're hungry, they pick up what's nearby. Whatever that fast food is, they pick it up. And they haven't washed their hands. And one of my main jobs is I go from place to place demonstrating how to wash your hands properly.
Right. And people respond to it? What's the reaction? They do?
Yes. You go from year to year, and like I went to the a certain health fair, and I usually do my usual talk, and I'll show you mine, and I believe you have one, because remember this?
Yes. Yeah, you gave it to me.
The hand sanitizer that you attached to whatever you
gave
have.
It to me.
I certainly did. At a seminar that you had on time, remember?
Yeah.
And that's what I do. And then they come the next year, and they'll come to you, and I'll say, okay, tell me how. And they can go straight down the line and tell me about how to sing happy birthday to themselves as they wash their hands, so they'll make sure they have the soap on there long enough.
Right.
Well, Congressman, getting back to Mary's point about proper eating, there needs to be more greengrocers and the availability of healthy food in the minority communities.
Right.
For many poor families, it's much more reasonable for them to eat fast food and these things that are readily available in our communities, as opposed to fresh fruits and vegetables.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, you know, the hospital, Health and Hospital Corporation does do that. Lincoln Hospital, Gouverneur, they have these fairs where they come and they have the fresh food and everything, and the dietitian comes out and actually gives talks on blood pressure, how much salt you're getting, whether you should be eating canned goods as opposed to frozen goods. All this type of thing is given in the street. In fact, Kings County is having one on the 19th of June, and they will have the same thing. It's really great.
So should we have more health fairs
Yes.
to sort of inform people in terms of...
They come to those. Yes, they do.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I think, you know, as you pointed out, you know, all of the physicians will tell you that eating properly sure makes a difference.
Yes, it
and of course, they will say to you that yes, there's certain things that you know, hereditary, but you also can contribute to it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think that, you know, just saying that my mother was a diabetic, I got to be one. You know, it didn't necessarily have to be.
That's right.
Or my daddy had high blood pressure, so now I need to have it because, after all, I'm now at his age and expect to have it. You know, I mean, how do we get this message across, though, to people? And I got 1 minute left. How do we get this message across to people in terms of how important it is to make certain that you eat properly?
Well, we have a great program at Berean Baptist Church, and that is our outreach to the community, and we just want people to be aware of what we have for them right at the community, right in the community.
Right. Well, let me thank you, John McCadney, you know, for your work, and I want you to know that we're working on the Canarsie Pier, which is in your area. We're going to get that straightened out eventually. I want to thank you, Brother Jones, for your work, and of course, I need to say that he's a very talented musician, so one of the best, no question about it. And to you, I want you to know, Ms. Bolus, we really appreciate the work. I mean, she's referred to as Miss Healthcare. You know, wherever you go, I mean, you find that she's always working, you know, talking to people about health, and I want you to know that we appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Mary Mason, you know, it's a delight to have you on, the person that's working in social service, and of course, working hard in the Berean Baptist Church.
Absolutely.
And to want you to know that we appreciate that as well. Thank you so much for being on News and Views.
And thank you for having us.
Yes.